I just want to talk about what to do when you are struggling to start, especially for someone who tends to be more of an underfunctioner, which is someone who, in times of stress, they seem to kind of shut down, whereas on the other spectrum there's an overfunctioner, which in times of stress they tend to like they want to take control, and they take too much control, and then they end up like doing a lot of things and can't really stop. They don't know when to stop. I just have a couple things and I wanted to share them with you. I didn't have any energy, I didn't have any motivation, I just couldn't get myself back into the groove. I fell out of my routine, I fell out of everything that I usually do, and the first thing that I did was I tried to identify the blockages. Before we even try to do anything, obviously we need to understand what is happening in the first place, and I feel like a very helpful place to start is to identify the blockages. What is blocking you from doing whatever it is that you want to do? I just became curious about myself. This is kind of a recurring theme for I just hit a fly, ew. I spent a lot of time, just like reflecting, journaling, being with myself, and sometimes not really. I thought about it a little bit too much, which in retrospect, I probably should have just like sat there with myself, being quiet and like quieting the mind and not think about it too much and let it just surface by itself. But anyways, for me, upon reflection, I think it was shame, it was perfectionism. I tend to have this like all or nothing mentality where I would rather not do anything if I know that I can't do my best and give my all, which I'm actually gonna do a video about this. When it's available, I'll link it up there. I just have these like standards that I want to fulfill, I always have these standards of like,
if I want to film a video, I have to put makeup on, I have to look nice, I have to have good sound, good visuals.
Even like habits like, oh, I have to take a shower before I start working, and like at the time I don't have any energy to do that, to be honest. That was the blockages for me. It really does take a lot of self-awareness, and for me, another thing that really helped was knowing about my human design strategy. I know this part isn't for everyone, okay? This is for freaks like me who love to be stereotyped. For me, at least, knowing my human design type really, really helped me in just figuring out how I was designed, how I work, because everyone is so different. I know in human design there's like only 5 types, and for me, I am a manifesting generator. If you're not too into human design, you can just skip this. If you hover over here, you can just skip it to the next section. But I swear it's so useful, because knowing that I'm a manifesting generator and I can't really initiate things, and like I can't really set my mind into, right, I want to do this thing. Like I can't really do that. I have to be kind of inspired and kind of like a bodily response of like, yes, I want to do that, or like, no, I don't want to do that kind of thing. I just end up like trusting that my time will come, like you don't necessarily have to know about human design or be interested in it. I think to apply this is that in general, just trusting that motivation, that energy will come back again, as long as you do like take care of yourself first, which is the next point that I want to talk about, is to fill. What I did was I tried to fill my own cup first, because I know that I have to prioritize self-care and like taking care of myself mentally and physically, because I wasn't taking care of myself in that way. I usually like exercise a couple times a week, but then I wasn't exercising at all. and like my sleep was all over the place. So I just kind of fixed those things, and it seems really simple. And I just had therapy the other day, and like my therapist was like, oh, you have to fix your sleeping pattern, and I kind of left the session feeling a bit like unsatisfied, because like, what? This whole session you're just telling me how to sleep better? But then it is so important, like those things, those basic things that you don't really want to hear about. God, I'm so sorry about this. Is why I want to move. You know what? Let's just move, because I can't be having this. And yeah, once I've nailed down that more like regular sleeping pattern, that's when I was able to, I don't know, just my energy was a little bit better, and I just kind of tried my best, like doing little baby steps of some things and really focusing on that, and like not jolting myself into my regular routine right away is those baby steps. Other things that I did to fill my cup was basically I felt like the pressure started to dissipate when I just simply accepted that taking a pause is okay. I know it's so difficult for us in this fucking capitalistic society to take a rest. It is designed to make you feel guilty about resting, because it feels like, you know, you will lose everything. You have to constantly keep that momentum up, when like in reality, not really. It really, I really saw myself starting to kind of crawl back up again when I just accepted that this is my time to take a pause. This is my time to, I don't have to get into it straight away. Doing things like going outside, grounding, that also somehow really helps. Like putting my feet on the ground on earth, feeling the sensations of that is really, it's just really nice. You need to try it, like in the morning, especially when everyone's not honking their fucking face off, you know? And like just watching comforting movies as well. I just kind of listen to myself and just done things that I want to do to feel comfortable, and that really helped to fill my cup. So I know that's probably quite personal, so you have to, you know, you have to think about what fills your cup, like what makes you feel good. Something that I learned from just listening to Kathy Heller, if you don't know who she is, you should. She's amazing. She has a podcast if you're into that. It's about finding the path to least resistance, and that really stuck to me, especially when I'm like struggling to start anything, to be productive and stuff like that. What is the easiest thing that you can do right now? Or it doesn't have to be right now, you know? It just when you kind of feel like, okay, I kind of do want to do something, so get rid of the shoulds, get rid of your fucking standards, man. Like, if I'm not in this state, I wouldn't be filming in this background, because it's not like a nice background. There's a fucking bike, there's like cables hanging everywhere. But I try to just kind of like, do you know what? I'm just at a point where like I kind of don't give a shit. Like the past couple months has really taught me to just kind of let loose, and like you don't have to, not everything has to be perfect, and that is really what is, a lot of the times, that is what is stopping you from doing things, which is, again, this is the video that I want to do. And what really helped as well was also listening to a podcast by Leah Wade. The tip that I tried to apply was, which really definitely succeeded yesterday, is to just do one thing. And the easiest thing that you can do, set a timer. Set a timer for 10 minutes and like see what happens. 10-15 minutes, see what happens. When you're done with it and you're in the flow and like you feel like, do you know what, I think I can do this again. I think I'm kind of getting into the flow a little bit. I am achieving something, even the tiniest thing. Then continue, you know, set another timer for 15 minutes. Maybe after doing it a couple times, take a break, but also, you know, maybe you can increase that time. But if you don't feel like it after 15 minutes, leave it. At least, I don't know, for me, knowing that I at least tried, feel at least a tiny bit satisfied about it, and like just feel a little bit better that, especially, again, this is especially for those of you who tend to underfunction like me. Like I said, I can't get out of bed and stuff like that. Underfunctioners are mostly encouraged to kind of push themselves. It's like a gentle way for you to start again. But like, I definitely am not like when I just started this YouTube channel where like I was time blocking on my Google Calendar and like timers and super organized, you know, like I'm not even halfway there. Pretty proud of myself for getting back up a little bit and just like taking the time. It really is key to kind of do something a little bit, little by little. Like I said, I'm not encouraging you to be productive. I really don't think you should be productive. And that concludes my my rant. Hopefully that was a slightly structured and slightly beneficial rant. Alright, I'm just gonna go now. I don't know how to close this video.